Welcome back to this channel. Thanks for coming by, or welcome to the new side of YouTube. It's behind the scenes of a convenience store. I shoot all my videos in this store, mainly in this back room. Today we're going to get into some real numbers, some bottom line numbers, and yeah, thanks for coming by. If you ever had any curiosity on what the little convenience store or bakery or deli or cafe owners actually take home at the end of the year, I think this video could be intriguing for you. That's why so many people ask, well, there's not so many people, let's be real. It's a small channel, but the top comments or top emails I get are based on if the store is profitable, the actual salary, if it's worth it. And I think getting right into the numbers sometimes helps people get a clearer picture if it's going to be what they expect. I mean, financially speaking, you can only really make so much from a small store. You got to be realistic as well, but as long as you're doing something you love and making money, I think that's the true bottom line. Of course, the bottom line with the profit also matters, but yeah, let's get into this one. Let's get behind the scenes of the convenience stores in North America, average salaries for the owners. Let me tell you something that you probably might know already. The first year, Felicia and I took nothing. We basically just got paid through any old expired food, and we had enough savings to float us and to pay for our personal bills. That didn't matter. Get out of the habit that any business you start will pay you right away. You might want to have a budget of at least a year to survive on before planning on starting anything, almost, because 99% of the time you don't see a dime in the first year of any business. If you do, congratulations, and it does happen. I just know statistically that it's not realistic to expect to make a personal salary in the first year, sometimes even 2 years, but we'll get into my personal experience. Please like this video, guys. It really helps get this content to other people just like you. And if you haven't tried our coffee, this is the coffee that we brew every single day for our customers. If you want to try it, you can go to 13grandcoffee.com. I'll put the link in the description down below. If not, you can hit the like button and I'll send you one bean to your house. Quick rundown, we sell all your convenience store items, plus produce, plus meat, plus dairy. So just no cigarettes or lotteries. So, just to give you an idea on what we sell. When we started, it was just fruits and vegetables. So over the years, we had to reinvest a lot of the money back into the business to get to this point. This didn't happen overnight. We didn't take a personal salary for a while to keep the business growing, and it's going to keep needing reinvestment in order to keep it growing, so we can reach another level where it trickles down into our personal salary. So keep that in mind when you start a business. You can't take all the money out of it. You need to reinvest it into more products, more shelving, more coolers, just making the place better. That's literally the bottom line of owning a business. You have to keep making it better. Breaking it down a little bit better for you guys, the sales for the first year were about 400,000. The sales for the second year were about 500. Now 400,000 is not a nice number, but the expenses start slashing that number down quick. The inventory costs, the rent, these numbers don't come down a little bit to your bottom line. They are literally being dropped quick. Like, for example, just to keep the place operating, you're looking at 60,000 a year just for the operational costs. Then the inventory, it costs probably half of what you've seen us sell. Unfortunately, there wasn't a lot left at the first year, so that was a big zero. But over the years, you start learning what sells, what to double down on, how to reduce costs here, how to buy better, what to buy, and then you start seeing a profit over the years. That pretty much explains the whole convenience store business in a nutshell. Whereas the first year or two, you're testing everything out, nobody knows who you are, and then the third, fourth, fifth year, and so on, that's when you really learn the business, and that's exactly the spot we're in now. As the economy hopefully recovers, we'll start seeing an uptick in profitability once again. So the first thing you want to understand is just because a place looks busy and popular and getting tons of likes on social media, it doesn't equate to profitability, and it especially doesn't equate to the owner's salary. So we'll know businesses that get 500 likes on a post, and then 3 months later they have to shut down because they can't afford to pay their bills. Never get the impression that likes and social media love equates to a popular store. Doesn't equate to profitability. Yes, it helps. I'm not saying that they sometimes don't mean they can be profitable and popular, but it doesn't mean 100% that it is making any money just because it's popular online, or you even see people going in and out. It doesn't always equal that the store is profitable. So our personal example, the first 6 months our store was jammed with people, people coming in and out, checking it out, liking it on Facebook. The support was crazy, but they weren't spending much more than $4 or $5 each because we didn't have enough inventory. So the place was always busy and everyone thought we were doing great, but people weren't buying anything. So at the end of the month, there wasn't anything extra to pay ourselves. There was the bills to be paid, like the rent and the inventory payments, the hydro, all that stuff came off the top. Now, from a first impression, you would think, these guys are killing it, they're going to be making so much money. However, at the end of the day, like I said, there wasn't much left, and just because the place looks good, online, or is getting people in and out the door, doesn't always equal to a happy owner. Well, the owner can be happy, but he's still poor. And I know what some people are gonna say. Oh, Ray, you made this video before. Why do you keep making the same video? Well, in perspective, there's probably more new viewers on this channel that don't know, even remotely what I do on this channel. So sometimes every 6 months, we kind of, let's say, improve on an old video, and things change and things get updated, so it's still valuable. So if you've already kind of have an idea, that's good, but sometimes our perspective isn't the only perspective. So let's try to keep an open mind with this video. The store is currently still open. You'll hear all these freezers and fridges buzzing. But to convey this message properly, let's break it down to year one. Year one, we made 0 in salary, like I said before. Year 2 was a little bit more modest. We both took about minimum wage, so 30 and 30, and that was honestly a blessing. Year 3, I believe, was the ramp up of COVID. So you would think this place did poorly during COVID, but it was actually a silver lining because people were afraid to go to big box stores and be in crowds, so they were using us and our curbside and delivery services to get food for their families. And that's when we actually scaled it up to about $50,000 each in personal salary. So year 4, things kind of stabilized from the COVID rush, and it was still good. I believe it was 2021, and yeah, we kind of kept the same salary going. That wasn't a big deal. That's more than enough for us. We have a lot of things we want to do with our store and our personal salary, that we kind of diversified our income into other things. So we never really needed more than that. We live very modestly. I wouldn't say anybody really needs to be making $2-3 million a year, but it happens, and that's good for them. But I'm not sure exactly what you need all that money for, but it's great. If you achieve that, it feels good, I'm sure. Anyways, year 4 was $50,000 salary, personal salary for each of us. Year 5 gets a little interesting. Things changed a little bit, and it's the current year we're in. So yeah, let's see if I can explain this correctly. Filming this in between customers, I have Felicia watching the door in case someone comes in. I'm not really opposed to having people in the store while I record. It's just a little bit strange, and maybe they don't want to be on camera, so that's why I do it this way. You are currently being balanced on Susie's Oat non-dairy beverage. This is a good seller here. This is not sponsored, but yeah, we use this for all of our coffee and people who want alternative milks, and it's a really good tripod as well. Anyways, so year 5 got a little bit tricky because Felicia became a real estate agent, and she started stepping out of the store a little bit more than before, when she obviously wasn't a real estate agent. So our salaries changed a little bit, but we still kept it at the $100,000 mark. So this time I took $70,000 and Felicia took $30,000. So it's still balanced off because we're not sure how much Felicia will make on the real estate side of things as she just started. So we kept her salary a little more modest, and she put in less hours here at the store, so naturally you would get paid a little less and I would take on more responsibility, so we raised mine a little bit. Now this didn't happen overnight. This was a lot of decision making and discussing, and our accountant suggested this would be the best way. So this is where we're at right now, and I think it's going to be okay. You know, I don't want you guys to assume that this is a 9-to-5 profession or career. Most of you know that most convenience store owners end up kind of working 24/7. So keep in mind when I tell you, you know, the salaries and that, it can't be divided by hour, because honestly, for the first year or two, I think Felicia and I were putting about 65 to 70 hours a week in this place, and it hasn't changed that much. To be honest, it didn't get much easier. We got better flow of things. We learned how to buy better. We have more regular customers, but yeah, we're still at the 60-hour-a-week mark. We have a little bit more flexibility to take an extra day or two off here and there, but understand that it's like working on a farm. You know, there's always 25 things to do, and you may not see any return from half of them. So, you know, that's the game that you're in when you start most small businesses, especially one with food and perishable items. You got to be on top of everything. So the average convenience store owner across North America makes about $59,000 per year. Now some probably make a lot more, some others, you know, make less, some go out of business, others own, you know, 4 or 5 locations or franchises. So it does vary, but on average, $59,000 per year. Ours is a little bit different. We'll get more into that later. Ours is split up between 2 people. We kind of do a lot more grocery and no cigarettes or lottery like convenience stores, but essentially, you know, it's a similar business, and it follows the same model, the resale business. By now, you know, a convenience store or a small grocery store or even a small cafe is not going to make you rich. It's going to be a comfortable living if you do well at it. It's going to be long hours. It's going to be a lot of stress. It's going to be dealing with a lot of people that you know, simply don't care if you exist the next day. And there's going to be a lot of perks. You know, you get to be your own boss. You get to you know, meet a lot of your regular customers. You kind of get to create your own destiny and have an entry point into business where you don't have to have technical or certain talents to be able to set up a store like this. You just have to have the work ethic and the knowledge on the industry, on the food industry, to know what sells and what doesn't sell, essentially. And once you mastered that, you pretty much mastered the art of reselling products and opening convenience stores and grocery stores, etc. At the end of the day, guys, this was our personal experience so far. This is our personal salary. It doesn't mean that everyone's going to do that and have the same results as we did. They may be better, they may be worse. I think it's fair to say after 5 years, this level is pretty standard, and you know, I hope I give you a clear picture on what to expect if you ever take on this project or something similar. Have a great night. Thanks for watching this video.